In what began as a typical morning on Live with Kelly and Mark, viewers were treated to more than the usual dose of celebrity gossip, lifestyle hacks, and playful banter. Somewhere between a segment on fall fashion and a latte art demonstration, the broadcast veered gloriously off script, and suddenly, New York City had a new, unofficial, mayoral candidate, Andy Cohen. Yes, that Andy Cohen. The Bravo boss. The architect of the Real Housewives empire. The king of late-night sass on Watch What Happens Live. A man whose Rolodex includes not only reality stars and A-listers but also a fair number of political players, if not directly, then certainly through the drama-prone spouses. But how did a Bravo exec become the subject of a half-serious, half-hilarious campaign endorsement? Let's rewind the tape. The live moment that started it all. It began innocently enough. Andy Cohen joined Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos on set as a guest, ostensibly to talk about Bravo's latest spin-offs and his ever-expanding media empire. What unfolded instead was comedic gold, and possibly, a whisper of political destiny. Andy, you're one of the only people I know who knows how to get a cab in the rain, has a Rolodex of city inspectors, and can find a decent bagel on the Upper West Side after 11 a.m., Kelly said, leaning into her chair with mock seriousness. You should run for mayor. Andy laughed, brushing off the comment with a signature eye roll and sip of coffee. Kelly, that's the worst idea you've ever had, and I say that having seen you in a 90s perm. But Mark wasn't about to let it go. No, seriously, you love this city, you know everyone, you'd actually show up at community board meetings with receipts and shade. The audience erupted. Kelly added, imagine the campaign slogans. Make New York watch what happens again. I'd vote twice if it weren't a felony. Cohen's NYC cred, more than just reality TV. It might have been a joke, but the more they talked, the less absurd it seemed. Andy Cohen isn't just a reality TV mogul, he's a native son of New York, deeply entrenched in the culture, pulse, and peculiar magic that makes the city tick. He's lived in the city for over 2 decades, raising his children here, navigating the MTA like a seasoned warrior, and frequenting local businesses with the loyalty of a lifelong New Yorker. He's thrown elbows at bagel counters and traded quips with doormen. He knows the difference between uptown pretentiousness and downtown cool. In short, he gets it. Plus, his diplomatic skills, honed from years of moderating Real Housewives reunions, often more volatile than city council meetings, could actually serve him well. You've refereed more screaming matches than the average precinct captain, Mark noted, laughing. You've practically been training for this job on Bravo. The platform, in theory. The unofficial campaign platform, as cobbled together by Ripa and Consuelos during the segment, was a bizarre yet oddly compelling blend of humor and real civic concerns. 1. Public transit revamp. Every subway train will have Wi-Fi, Bravo reruns, and pop-up confessionals for frustrated commuters, Kelly quipped. Finally, a place to yell, I'm not getting off at 42nd because you think it's closer to Times Square, Karen. 2. Housing and rent reform. Andy, deadpan, we'll launch a Rent Watchers franchise, tenants and landlords hash it out on live TV. Best episode gets subsidized rent for a year. 3. Sanitation and clean streets. Housewives-style taglines for garbage trucks, Mark offered. You think your block is clean? Now that's trash talk. 4. Cultural affairs. Every borough gets its own Real Housewives franchise. Staten Island deserves its moment, Andy added. I've seen things at ferry terminals that would make Lisa Rinna blush. The public reaction, a meme tsunami. Within minutes of the segment airing, the internet caught fire. Hashtag Cohen for mayor trended on X, formerly Twitter. Memes flooded Instagram. Fan art surfaced on TikTok, featuring Cohen in various scenarios, holding a mic in one hand and a mayoral sash in the other, waving from the steps of City Hall, or refereeing a debate between rival boroughs. One popular video remix showed scenes of NYC chaos overlaid with Andy's calm, sassy voice saying, "We're gonna get through this, babe, but first, who brought the receipts?" Real politicians react. The buzz even reached City Hall, where a press aide to the current mayor reportedly texted a journalist, "We'd lose debates, but we'd win Emmy nominations." An anonymous city council member commented, "To be fair, I've seen worse candidates." And Andy would definitely spice up budget meetings. Could it really happen? When asked backstage whether he'd ever consider it, Andy replied, "Only if Watcher, his dog, can be my deputy mayor and we get lunch from Carbone every day." In classic Cohen style, the answer was a wink wrapped in sarcasm, but fans are dreaming anyway. After all, stranger things have happened in politics. A reality TV star has become president. Several, if you count loosely scripted political influences. A Bravo boss running New York. That's almost normal by comparison. Political strategists agree Cohen has name recognition, charisma, and a fan base that would mobilize faster than a Housewives tagline drop. But more importantly, he represents something that many New Yorkers crave, someone who sees the city in all its messy, magnificent glory and still loves it with his whole heart. Final thoughts. A joke that hit a nerve. What started as a joke on a light-hearted morning show may have accidentally tapped into a deeper public sentiment, the desire for leaders who are not only competent but also human. Andy Cohen might not have a political science degree, but he has the rare ability to listen, laugh, and lead a conversation, three things in short supply in many civic circles. As the segment ended, Kelly raised an imaginary campaign sign and shouted, "Cohen 2025, because this city needs a reunion." Andy shook his head, still chuckling. "You two are going to get me sued." Mark winked. "Or elected. Could it be more than a gag? Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be watching The Real Mayors of New York, starring Andy Cohen, not just as the host, but as the star. Until then, keep your Bravo remotes handy and your ballots ready, because in this city, anything can happen.